I am not a bartender. I just really like to drink. Hey, I'm Alana, and I'm obsessed with connecting with the world through food, travel, and languages. And today we are going to dive into something you've probably never heard of. I had never heard of it. Comiteco Aguardiente. So typically when someone asks this self-proclaimed agave girl what kind of agave spirit to buy, I have my go-to recommendations. But I also say, just go to the liquor store and grab what looks appealing to you. Because maybe you discover something I've never heard of and something you end up loving. And ultimately, that's the whole point, to get more and more people to try agave in all of its different forms, from tequila made in Jalisco to mezcal made in Ecuador. So that's kind of what we're doing today. We're tasting. So you're probably wondering, maybe you're wondering, I don't know, if I said that we're diving into Comiteco Aguardiente, why do I have a bottle of mezcal also on my counter? Well, something super interesting about these two guys is they are both made with agua miel. So typically when you have a tequila or mezcales, you are roasting the whole piña in order to derive to the spirit. With this guy and the mezcal, they're using agua miel, the honey water that you source from the agave plant. So I thought it would be super interesting to try something that was made in Mexico, in Chiapas, which is the aguardiente, and kind of compare and contrast to something that was made in Ecuador, which is gonna be our mezcal. So that's what's going on. Let me also point out though, I have a bottle of Comiteco Añejo, and then I have a bottle of Mezcal Blanco. What the hell, Alana? Well, why am I not comparing Añejo to Añejo or Blanco to Blanco? Well, I bought this bottle and then it dawned on me, oh, let's compare the two. And it is so difficult to get even a Blanco Mezcal in the US, especially if you're outside of New York. And so essentially, we're just gonna work with what we have. Okay, so it's time to taste. What I like to do when I am trying a new agave is I like to pre-pour the spirit into a glass. I really love drinking my agaves neat out of a Tiffany flute. I don't know why, but I really like it. It makes me feel fancy. So yeah, that's what I did. I pre-poured these and they've been sitting for about 10 minutes. And then when I taste, I also like to approach in the way of a sommelier, and I also like to taste in a 3-part way. So first smell, second sip, 3 kind of let it sit on the palate and kind of let those flavors dance in your mouth, if you will. So that's kind of what we're doing. I think that a Blanco sits on the palate for a shorter amount of time, has like a shorter kind of flavor profile than an añejo or a reposado. So essentially it dissipates relatively quickly compared to an añejo or a reposado. So I am going to try the Mezcal Blanco first. So first step, let's smell. Right away, you get like this grassy note, herbaceous, very crisp, very clean on the nose. Also maybe a little bit of citrus. It's quite possible. I made that up and I'm just anxious to taste. So let's sip. Oh yeah. So the things that you smell, they just travel right along to the palate as well. So you're getting some kind of a little bit of minerality, but also it's heavy herbaceousness that's coming through, in my opinion. Again, there is a little bit of some floral notes, a little bit of citrus, but overall, this is a very clean representation of a agave spirit made from agua miel. Highly recommend it. I actually have had this before, this particular bottle. You can kind of tell about where it is. And I really like to replace this when I'm making a margarita or a mezcalita. It creates this complexity that you don't get from tequila. And you get it from mezcal, but this kind of takes it a little bit further. Now, Very interesting. I'm still kind of tasting it a little bit. It's still quite nice, which is this is my first time really noticing. It's a little longer than I was anticipating, but it's so delicious. Now the añejo Comiteco, right away, look at the color, right away. Smell? So nice. You get a little bit of those caramelization notes. You get that sweetness, of course, maybe a little bit of vanilla. It smells really good. Like dessert, if you will, but not in an artificial way. Now that I'm thinking about it, this should be freaking drink already, Alana. No, but this should be in like a sniffer. Like if you had like some scotch or bourbon or something. Again, those caramelized notes, that vanilla, the sweetness, it goes straight from your nose right to the palate, which is why I like to sniff first, because you use so much of your smelling senses to taste. So I'm gonna have a little bit more of this. This is actually really, really good. Delicious. So that's our mezcal. That's our Comiteco Aguardiente. Instead of like just drinking this straight, like a lush, what else can we do with this? I'm glad you asked. Disclaimer. I am not a bartender. I just really like to drink. And it sometimes is okay to drink at home alone all the time. But what I really want to make with this is something kind of like a agave aperitivo. Essentially, you have this sweetness, and then we're going to add a little bit of champagne, and then I'm going to add a little bit of Saint Germain's, because Saint Germain's is kind of delicious and everything. And instead of, it's kind of like a riff on a French 75, sort of, kind of, but instead of adding lime juice or lemon juice, I'm gonna do an orange, because I really like orange and agave. I think it enhances the flavor as opposed to like abrasive lime dissipating the flavor. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna take, I like my drink strong too, so we're just gonna kind of go for it. So I'm gonna take this Comiteco, and I'm just gonna pour it in this guy. And honestly, that's not enough for me. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Look, again, I'm not a bartender and I care about balance. I want my drinks to just taste good. So that part is important, but for the most part, I like boozy drinks. So I'm gonna make me a boozy drink. Okay, so that's that. And then we're gonna add a little bit of Saint Germain's to this guy. Oh, I love Saint Germain's. I remember when it first came out. Honestly, if you mix this with tequila and that's it, and on the rocks, it's so delicious. I'm gonna add a little ice. I'm gonna shake with ice. I have a top, don't worry. So. I know, I look crazy. And then I'm gonna put in our glass. Awesome. And then we are going to top with champagne. Oopsie daisy. It's totally fine. That's all. I'm not a bartender, but this still looks delicious. Let's see. Ooh, that's delicious. Oh my gosh, that's really, really delicious. Okay, so what were we? So basically, this is a great way to drink this guy. Hopefully you try it. Hopefully you really enjoyed this video and you laughed with me and you laughed at me. And you come back. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys are drinking. I would love to know. And until then, como siempre, salud.